Okay, welcome to this video. So in this video right here, guys, I'm going to be talking about credit and trade line. So if you're serious about wanting to do something with your credit, raise it or whatever, the fastest way to raise your credit score would be with trade lines. Trade lines are authorized user trade lines. Now, a trade line can be a credit card, it could be a vehicle, it could be a home mortgage, that is. And you can get these from people you know or from people who actually sell trade lines like me. I sell trade lines. But you don't have to get one from just me. Let's say you have someone in your family, maybe your mother, your father, brother, sister, cousin, or whatever, or even best friend, has, say, a credit card and they're very responsible with their credit. You could ask them if they could add you as an authorized user to their credit card. Now, when doing this, I would suggest you make sure that they are very responsible by not spending, I would say, more than 20% of their limit. So if they have $1,000 limit, hopefully they don't go over $200. That would be $200 would be 20%. So if they're very responsible and they spend $200 a month, maybe a little more or whatnot, you'll be fine with something like that. And if they have extensive credit history, say 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or what have you, the more years that they have, the better your credit is going to look. So once they add you as an authorized user to their credit card, the next time the credit card reports, the whole credit history, so if the card is 10 years old, the whole credit history of that card will jump onto your credit report, thus increasing your scores dramatically in a lot of cases. So if maybe you have a couple of dings on your credit, if it's old enough, it won't affect you too much, and the new card will add serious points to your credit report. So if you guys have been watching some of my videos or some of my Facebook posts, I should say, and you see when I post up the Credit Karma scores, where you'll see some people at high 700s, some people at 800s, a lot of that is done through authorized user trade lines. Now I'm about to tell you guys what is possible with these authorized user trade lines. Now, you won't receive a credit card, but what you will get is the trade line on your credit report. Now, what you can do with this after it's been on your credit report for, about a month or so, you can actually start applying for your own credit cards. So if your friend has a $10,000 credit card and maybe two or three of those, and they put you as authorized user on two or three of them, and you got, it looks like you have $30,000 worth of credit, that's, 10 years old, 5 years old, or what have you. When you go out to apply for a credit card, now you can go for one of the elite type of cards also, like Chase Sapphire Preferred Card. You could apply for it, and you'll probably get it. So I'll tell you my story. My credit scores 4 months ago, from making this recording, 4 months ago, my credit was like 506, 507. Those were what my scores looked like. And then you fast forward to today, after I've worked my credit, I was able to get my credit score, my actual credit score, up to 787. So what did I do? The first thing I did, I went out and I bought me a vehicle. And when I went to buy the vehicle, they didn't ask me for any steps. Now, steps are stipulations. So usually what would happen, if your scores were low, they would ask for income verification. So they'd want like paycheck stubs. And if you were self-employed, they might ask you for 1099s or whatnot. And they didn't ask me for anything because my score was a 787. I even asked the salesperson. I was like, "Hey, do I need any steps?" And he said, "No steps. You don't need any steps." I was like, "Come on, you need something." He said, "I'll tell you what, bring a pen with you, sign these papers, and drive off with the vehicle." So I did that, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't show them anything, and I signed my name, other than my driver's license. That was it, and I drove right off. So that's the power of having high credit. So after I got the vehicle, I was like, okay, and I waited for it to post to my credit. After making the very first payment, I applied for a Chase Sapphire Preferred, and I went through a www.creditcards.com. I signed up with them first, and they gave me offers from a bunch of different banks, and they said, now these are companies that are offering you a card. And I was thinking, okay, let me try it out. So I went ahead and applied for the Chase. And I would say, oh, it took 2 weeks, and they sent me a letter, but in actuality, it didn't really take 2 weeks, but because I used my old address, and so they had to forward it. It got forwarded to where I am now. And so when I got the letter, it didn't say I was declined or anything. It told me to call them. We needed to verify some more information on you. So I called the number, and the lady, all she asked me was, what's your phone number? And I gave her my phone number. And she said, I'm sending you a text. If you could please verify the code. So I verified the code. She said, okay. She said, so let me finish processing your application. So she finished processing. She said, okay, you're approved. And I was like, wow. She said you should receive your card in 7 to 14 days or something like that. And so I was able to get approved for $18,000. I was like, wow, $18,000. And all this, 4 months ago, I couldn't get a slice of bread on credit. Fast forward to today, I've received the Chase Preferred card. So then I also went ahead and applied for the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Received that one too. They let me get that one also. And now I have a offer that came in the mail from Delta Sky Miles American Express. They pre-approved me, and I have some kind of sky limit number, and I need to call them. And my offer is good till the 25th of January. So I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to go ahead and raise my scores a couple more points, because every time you apply for a credit card, of course, they're going to ding you 7 points. So I figure I'll go ahead and wait till January before I apply for that one. But I'm pretty sure they're going to go ahead and give me that card also. And all of this is because of authorized user trade lines. I actually purchased 4. And this is how I got my credit scores up to 787. I purchased 4, and they weren't the best cards in the world. I mean, I could have probably spent a little bit more money and got myself up to like an 830 credit score, but I just went ahead and wanted to see what these 4 cards would do, and they raised me to 787. I'm perfectly happy. So, if you guys, anybody watching this video, if you want to do the same thing, you don't have to come to me. I'm telling you how to get this done. You can actually, if you have friends or family or relatives, you wouldn't even have to purchase your authorized user trade lines. Just have a family member put you on their card. But I say use caution. Make sure they're very responsible with their credit, because if they take a 30-day late, you take a 30-day late, and it hurts your score. But if they're very responsible with their credit, you can ride their coattails, so to speak. So I'm gonna post up some trade lines that I have to offer. If you can't find anybody, you can feel free. You can more than welcome to purchase some of the trade lines I have on hand, and they range from I think $150 is the lowest I have, as you can see on the list, and it goes up to like $680. The more the card is, the bigger bump you're going to get on your credit report. Now, I would also say, if you're going to buy a trade line, you want to make sure your credit is pretty cleaned up. So you might have to get it cleaned up if you have nothing on your credit. Absolutely, your credit's pretty much a blank slate. Then sky's the limits for you. I mean, you could be at 800 in the next, say, 30 to 45 days with authorized user trade lines. Now, and I will also say that trade lines are good. There's 2 types of what we like to talk about in the credit industry. There's 2 types of credit scores. You got the FICO and you got the FACO. And I'll be honest with you, FACO scores are the scores that you see on Credit Karma. But these are the same scores that I would say your credit card industry, they use those. They use FACO scores. They don't have a problem with it. They'll use those. Now, lending institutions, as far as mortgages and whatnot, they're going to use your FICO, and your FICO is always going to be lower than your FACO. But here's the trick with the FACO. Once you get your own credit cards, your FACO will become your FICO after using your credit responsibly for the next couple of years. So your score will start to look a lot, your my FICO will start to look a lot like your FACO. So if you have a FACO score of 787, your FICO score might be only a 650. But after you have your real primary trade lines, your scores will start to go up, and you should have no problem purchasing a home. But in the beginning, you're going to do it all with credit cards. So hopefully this has been somewhat informative for some of you people out there that's been watching what I've been posting up on Facebook. I have a couple of customers, they don't understand why their credit is not jumping as much as some of my other customers, because my other customers, they know the game. They know that in order to get that big bump really quick, they have to get authorized user trade lines, or they could get primary trade lines where someone would add you as a co-applicant to a credit card. Now, if you have somebody, a parent, that will add you as a co-applicant, that is the absolute best way, because FICO scores, they recognize the co-applicant, because now you're responsible for that credit card also, and you get the same bump as you would with the authorized user, except now you're actually they'll actually consider it because it is your card. When doing this credit repair thing or trying to bump your scores up, I'm just going to let you guys know, you got to pay to play, or you better know somebody that has cards that is close to you, maybe a family member, a best friend, or whatever, that will add you for nothing. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Have a great day. I'm Eric, and I'm out. Peace.